Hi there, May. So, more essays from you. Good. Let's go right into your correction. Deciding on whether the impact of fashion on people is a positive or negative issue is a debatable topic that grows in importance since the advent of industrialization. Some think that fashionable clothes and hairstyles are necessary to break down the boredom of routine. Personally, I strongly disagree that this is the case, and rather believe that following fashion blindly might lead to dire consequences. This essay will, This essay will discuss both views, probably, using examples from the live stars. I don't know what you mean by live stars, and the BMC to prove points and support arguments. Okay, I don't know what live stars is, but okay, the rest of it is fine. There is ample evidence to support the fashion side. When people get into the habit of putting on stylish clothes and get a fashionable haircut and getting fashionable haircuts, they will internally feel better. The central reason behind that is twofold. Firstly, fashionable people will adopt this sense of coping with modernized life, which often increases their happiness level. All right, what do you mean they will adopt the sense of coping with modernized life? I don't understand what that means. So it's a kind of statement that really requires explanation, some sort of support, something to just develop it a little more. Secondly, these people are more likely to perform better in their jobs due to self-satisfaction. For example, recent empirical research done by the BMC demonstrated that more than 45% of, you're missing an of here, fashion followers were leading healthier lives, plural, than their counterparts with less depression rates. Hold on a second, because it sounds like their counterparts have less depression rates, or actually lower depression rates. So, what you really wanted to say here was 45% of fashion followers were leading healthier lives with lower depression rates than their counterparts. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that fashion would positively impact our lives. Okay, although there is a case for benefits gained from models and fashions, all right, their negative effect on our society shouldn't be overstated. It should not. We never use contractions in IELTS, okay? This is largely because if we continue to follow modernized styles in our wearing and hairstyles, we will soon end up spending all of our budget on less mandatory domains. Another reason to alert us from blindly following fashion is that we will most likely lose our identity during the process of pretending to be someone else. For instance, our youngsters nowadays insanely look up at vacuous stars, I think you mean, without the T, wearing the same clothes as their fans, then talking exactly like them, which will seriously impact, without the ing, their entire future in a drastic way. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the impact of fashion could be massively dangerous. Now, you've made a really kind of blanket statement here that it will impact their future in a drastic way. You either need to temper that a little bit and make it not so absolute, or you have to really explain why you've kind of sounded the alarm on this, okay? Either way, you can't let the sentence stand on its own. It needs some work, either through developing it or through, kind of softening the language a little bit. Okay, so from the examples given, I firmly assume, not really, not firmly assume, I firmly something that fashion affects A with A here instead of E, S here. Okay, so I firmly something that fashion affects our, I see, okay. I firmly believe that fashion's '(S) effect on our lives has many downsides that outnumber its benefits. Nevertheless, taking such issue to break up our daily routine would be useful. No. Let's try this again. Nevertheless, while taking such issue to break up our daily routine would be useful, if I still don't understand this sentence. Taking such issue if it doesn't reveal a personality. I don't understand the sentence at all, I'm afraid. I don't know what you're trying to say, so I can't really correct it for you. It is forecasted, though, that fashion will increasingly continue to grow in importance. Okay, that's fine. So obviously there were a couple of areas that were a little problematic, both in terms of your grammar and with your task response, as I already stated. So now let's take a look at your task 1. Okay, the line graph describes the amount of rainfall forecasted in 2018 in 3 European countries, namely England, Wales, and Scotland. Overall, Wales seemed to record the least figures in almost all months, whereas Scotland has shown to be the rainiest country in 2018. All 3 nations look broadly similar in their fluctuation pattern over 2018. Fine. The main difference between England's and Scotland's rainfall pattern is their hovering trend being more prevalent in Scotland. I don't know what you mean by their hovering trend. Their overall trend, perhaps? Maybe. England's and Scotland's rainfall started the period at similar amounts, S, of around 115 and 120 milliliters, respectively. Then Scotland's rainfall, apostrophe S, took over, not has taken, took over, to peak to above 125 ml in March and again in October. In between, it crashed to a plummet of roughly 25 milliliters in February. England's, on the other hand, fluctuates at around 75 and 25 to stand at just over 125 ml in December. Wales scores the least amount of rainfall in the year 2018, starting the period at about 50 ml, which gradually rose during the next month at it rose to something, then plunged to roughly 25 ml in April. Thereafter, it fluctuated between 50 to 120 ml till mid-year, where it reached its peak at around 30. It is then expected to drop over the coming 3 months to just below 50, then to plateau in that range until October. From there, it will be subjected to a steep jump to over 50 ml in December. Well, I like the way you dealt with the tenses here. Most of them were pretty accurate. You obviously saw that from July on, you started talking about the future, so that was quite good. You've covered just about everything. You didn't actually put the graph on here so that I could see it, but through your description, I was pretty much able to visualize it, and so that's the goal here. Okay, so a nice job with this. Some little mistakes, but nothing that you can't easily correct. So that's what you need to do next. You need to correct these essays, send them back to us corrected. Don't forget your error correction list, and of course your next essay. So we'll be here, we'll be waiting for them. Good luck on your next writing assignment.